It's time to plant onions. Here in Texas, fall going into early winter is the perfect time to plant onions. My name is Drea. I'm located here off the Texas Gulf Coast in the Houston metro area in zone 9A, where we have brutal summers and pretty much non-existent winters. And so I thought, why not bring y'all along as I plant my onions real time? I'm gonna walk you through the best time to plant your onions based on where you live, how to choose the right variety of onions based on where you live, as well as what's the difference between an onion set, an onion starting from seed, and which one's best. I'll also show y'all how I amend my soil to set things up to produce those Texas-sized onions. Let's go. There is a chill in the air, y'all. I had to go get my jacket. It caught me off guard. The first step and the most important to getting giant-sized bulbing onions is ensuring you are planting the right type of onion based on the area in which you live. Now, onions are daylight sensitive, meaning they require a certain amount of daylight in order to trigger bulbing. And the amount of daylight required is going to be dependent on the type of onion you are growing. Now, there are three main types of onions: short day varieties, intermediate day varieties, and long day varieties. Short day varieties require 10 to 12 hours of daylight hours in order to trigger bulbing. Intermediate day require 12 to 14, and long day varieties require 14 to 16. A good rule of thumb is in the northern hemisphere, the further you are south, the less amount of daylight hours you're going to have, whereas the further you are north, the more. This is imperative to get right because the amount of daylight hours is what triggers the bulbing phase of your onions. For example, if you were to plant a short day variety up north that's better suited for a long day variety, because the ground freezes up there and based on the time of when you would actually be able to plant it, the daylight hours are well past the 10 to 12 required for short day varieties. And so when the plant grows, it's going to immediately start to focus its energy on bulbing before it's had enough time to properly develop the green growth and store the energy in order to support the bulbing of the bulb. The result is going to be bulbs. On the flip side, if you were to plant a long day variety in a region better suited for short day varieties, like here in Texas, our daylight hours never reach the 14 to 16 required to properly trigger bulbing in those long day varieties. Additionally, when our days are at their longest is during peak summer, and long day varieties aren't well adapted to extreme heat, the results of which are going to be stressed out plants that likely bolt and don't bulb properly or just altogether. There are three main ways to start your onions. You can start from seed, start from onion starts, or onion sets. Let's go through the pros and cons of each so you can determine which is best for you. Onion seeds, as the name suggests, are simply onions you start from seed and transplant as seedlings. Some pros to starting from seed include this is by far the most cost-effective option. It also offers the widest variety of options to choose from, as well as it allows you to get the largest bulb potential from your onions, and it carries the lowest risk of disease when compared to onion starts and onion sets. However, some potential cons to keep in mind is that this by far is going to take the longest time investment. It is going to take the longest time from starting to when you actually harvest. It's going to require you to get an early start on things, and your seedlings are going to require hands-on care. This option is best for those who are able to start their seeds early indoors, those looking for a specific variety of option or maybe a broad range of options, and those truly looking to maximize the bulb size of their onions. Onion stars are onions that were grown from seed and pulled while they were still young prior to them bulbing and then are replanted. Because they are pulled before they have bulbed, they are still considered first-year plants. Pros include that this is a faster method than starting from seed. They are still first-year onions, and they offer more predictable results. They also are still able to produce pretty large-sized bulbs. Cons include you're going to be a lot more limited in the type of varieties. You're going to be at the mercy at whatever varieties your nursery or the big box store has available. These are also going to be higher in cost when compared to starting from seed, and they do have the potential to have low to moderate disease risk depending on how they were handled. That's why it's important to buy from a reputable source. This is best for those who still want to get a head start, but without the added work that comes with starting from seed, those with more limited time, as well as those who still want to get large-sized bulbs. It's also best for those who aren't really picky about the particular variety of onion that they are planting. Onion sets are second-year onions that were grown in the previous year and then harvested as small bulbs for replanting. Pros include these are the easiest to plant and grow the fastest. They're also the most widely available and are commonly found at big box stores. They're more cost-effective than onion starts, but more expensive than onion seeds. Cons include this is going to give you the smallest bulb of the three. The onion types often aren't specified. Onion sets are second-year onions, and because onions are biennial, in their second year, their primary goal is to go to seed and reproduce, and so these are more likely to bolt prematurely. They also offer the highest disease risk. For their bulbs, sets are best grown in areas with short growing seasons. I love growing onion sets, but not for the reason of growing bulbing onions. I plant them pretty broadly across my garden for two reasons. One, I use them to interplant in between plants that are more susceptible to pests because onions are natural aromatics that help deter pests. I also grow them for their onion tops and grow them as I would green onions. Let's talk about when to start your bulbing onions. Now, this is going to vary greatly based on the zone in which you live, as well as if you're starting from seed, onion start, or onion set. This is a very general guide, so research a bit for your area or follow the onion packaging instructions for the exact planting time. For onion seeds in warmer zones where you can overwinter your onions and the ground doesn't freeze, you're going to start your onion seeds 8 to 10 weeks before your average first frost. For cooler zones where the ground does freeze and for spring planting, you're going to start your onion seeds 8 to 10 weeks before your average last frost. For onion starts in warmer zones, you're going to plant 4 to 6 weeks before your average first frost. For cooler zones, you're going to plant 2 to 4 weeks before your average last frost. For onion sets, you can plant them roughly around the same time as you would your onion starts. However, if you're planting for the purpose of harvesting as green onions, you can pretty much grow year-round where your ground doesn't freeze. Let's talk soil. Soil is literally the lifeline to your plants, so if you have crappy soil, you're going to get crappy onions. Onions prefer a well-draining, sandy, loamy soil high in organic matter, as onions are incredibly heavy feeders. In the early stages of growth, onions need a considerable amount of nitrogen. The ideal pH for onions is between 6 and 7. Bulbing onions have two main growth phases, the vegetative phase and the bulbing phase. In the vegetative phase, the plant's sole purpose is to put on as much green growth as possible so that it can uptake the maximum amount of energy needed to support the second phase of growth, which is the bulbing phase. And in that phase, that is where the onions, as the name suggests, is producing and developing the bulb. And so the reason why a lot of people get hung up on the theory that phosphorus is what produces the biggest bulbing onions is that phosphorus naturally aids in root development, flowering, fruiting, and bulbing. So naturally you would think the more phosphorus, the bigger the bulbs, right? Not exactly. Nitrogen, on the other hand, supports green leafy growth. And it's this green leafy growth that allows the plant to uptake energy from the sun, if you remember from 5th grade science class, through a process called photosynthesis. And through photosynthesis, the plant is able to uptake and store the energy needed to support the overall growth and bulbing of your onions. In fact, each leaf represents one ring of the onion. So the more rings, the bigger the onion. This means the more greens grown during the vegetative phase, the bigger the onion. You know what supports this? Nitrogen. For my onions, I always heavily amend my soil with compost. Now, my compost of choice for growing onions and really any plant that has high nitrogen needs is composted chicken manure. Because composted chicken manure naturally just has a higher nitrogen value compared to compost, let's say like mushroom compost or even cow manure. However, quite frankly, any compost will do. Next, I like to amend my soil with blood meal, which is pure nitrogen, as well as bone meal, which has a little bit of nitrogen, but is mostly phosphorus, and then a well-balanced organic fertilizer that has all the things, because quite frankly, all the things are important, even though we really are trying to amp up the nitrogen. Ideally, when planting onions, especially if you're using organic fertilizer like myself, you want to try to amend the soil with the fertilizer a couple of weeks ahead of planting because this allows all the fertilizer to start to break down. And so those nutrients are already really available to your plant. However, I wasn't able to do that because I had stuff growing in my bed. So no big deal. And so in the great debate, if whether nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium are most important to growing huge onions, all are important. However, in the vegetative phase, nitrogen is of the utmost importance. As I mentioned before, onions are heavy feeders. After my initial planting and fertilizing application, I will fertilize every 2 to 3 weeks. However, I only add the phosphorus at the time of planting. After that, I only reapply blood meal and a well-balanced organic fertilizer. Now, right before the onion starts its bulbing phase, you want to halt applying any fertilizer. If you don't quite get it right, it's okay. You'll know when your onions have for sure started to bulb. You'll start to see around the soil, around the base of the tops, that they've started to protrude out a bit and the soil has kind of cracked around that area. Onions need plenty of water. Ensure the soil stays moist but not soggy. Soil that's waterlogged will rot your onions. If you're not sure when to water, a good test is to simply stick your finger about 2 inches into the soil. If it's still moist, hold off watering. If it's dry, water. Let's talk common pests and ways to treat. Now, because onions are a natural deterrent for pests, they don't have a broad range of pests. However, there are some, and the most common include thrips, onion maggots, cutworms, and aphids. For thrips and aphids, you can simply spray with soapy water. I like to use a mixture of a few teaspoons of Castile soap in a water bottle with water. That's an organic way to treat. It also works on a wide variety of pests. For the cutworms, you can remove any that you see on your plant manually and then spray your plant with BT, which stands for Bacillus thuringiensis. This is an effective means of organic pest control for caterpillars as it disrupts their digestive system and prevents them from feeding and eventually starves them to death. Morbid, I know. Just know that the BT doesn't work instantly as the caterpillar has to ingest it in order for it to work. So it takes a day or two, and then it is something you have to reapply every week or so. If you have problems with onion maggot, you can cover your onions with the row cover, as well as treat the soil with beneficial nematodes. Now let's talk the best part of this whole process is when to actually harvest your onions. You'll know it's about that time to harvest your onions when the onion tops flop over. However, I like to leave my onions in the ground until the tops start to turn brown. Once you harvest, you're going to cure your onions. To cure your onions, harvest with the stems attached and either lay in a single layer or hang in an area that's dry, well ventilated, and out of direct sunlight. You're going to keep them there for about 2 to 3 weeks or until the stems have completely dried out and the neck is dry and the onion has formed that papery exterior. Now, onions grow best in full sun with an asterisk. I say that for those of us that live in the South where it's brutally hot, they will do well with some shade during the hotter part of the day. This will help prevent them from getting stressed out and bolting prematurely. though I grew my onions in my raised beds, you can absolutely apply the same logic and grow them in containers. Onions grow exceptionally well in containers, so that's perfect if you have a balcony or maybe you just have a small growing space. I hope y'all found this growing guide useful. And if you'd like to see more growing guides, let me know in the comments below. If there's something in particular you want to see a growing guide on, I got you. I'm just happy, y'all. It's not like 90, 80 degrees. Like just a few days ago, it was like in the mid to high 80s. And today we got down to the 50s, y'all. The 50s. I am loving this weather. So in my last video, because I get a lot of questions about my fur babies. I have 3. And in my last video, I introduced y'all to Ritz, who is my Spitz Pomeranian mix. He is my little firecracker. He loves the camera. He always has to be the center of attention. He was abandoned at a gas station. And then this little guy here is Reuben. He is the sweetest of the bunch. And he actually came up to me one day when I was gardening and he never left. And he's been by my side ever since. He is my little joy. Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss? Thank you. I swear, if I had enough land, I would just have a rescue of just like stray dogs in my yard. Like I'd have like this whole kind of barn area, maybe that was like ventilated or climate controlled during the hotter part of the year that they can go chill out in there. And I just have a fenced in yard to let them run rampant. Like to me, that is just like joy. I would be the crazy dog lady. I will happily take that title. It warms my heart. But until next time, y'all already know the deal. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And remember, every black thumb ripens to green, and it all just starts with a seed.